Hi again, hockey fans. Ben Holden here from our studios here at CCHA Productions. Welcome in to week number 3 of CCHA Now. Great to be with you. We've got a jam-packed show coming your way this week. A lot of highlights, some good features, and a lot of information you'll need for the coming week in the CCHA. Start, though, with the standings. It has been quite a race for first place this season around the CCHA. Ohio State opened last weekend with a 7-point cushion, but Michigan, they had other plans. They beat the Buckeyes down in Columbus on Friday, and then, of course, in the Frozen Diamond Faceoff on Sunday in Cleveland, they took both games in that series. They are right at the top of the standings. Western Michigan, what do you say about Andy Murray's crew? Just a great home-and-home sweep for the Broncos against Notre Dame Friday in South Bend, and then Saturday up at a sold-out Lost Nice Arena. You look at the standings, and you see Ohio State at the top, but 7th place is only 8 points back of first place. Should be a great race over the remaining weeks in the CCHA. We've had a lot of requests for more highlights in our show. We love that. Our guys are all over the place shooting highlights. We get them in from all the networks around the country, and we have expanded our Plays of the Week to a David Letterman-style top 10 this week. We'll give you the first 5, then we'll go back and show you 5 through 1 a little bit later in the show. Let's start, though, with plays 10 through 6. Coming in at number 10 this week on our top 10, Chad Billings from Ferris State. Great goal by him, walking in to score against Alaska Fairbanks on Saturday in the Bulldogs' victory there. In at number 9, watch Zach Trotman. He'll be between the circles right at the hash marks. A great backhander and a 4-3 victory for the Lakers over Miami on Saturday. In at number 8, a young man we'll hear from a little bit later in the show, Matt Thurber of Northern Michigan. It pinballs in off his skate on the side of the paint. That was a 2-1 game that Michigan State won on Saturday against Northern. In at number 7, Chase Ballasy. This young man has got a 6 set of mitts on him. Great vision, great release on this goal in a 3-2 Western Michigan victory on Friday down at Notre Dame. That's our number 7 play of the week. In at number 6, got to get a little love to the goaltender, Scott Grenham from Alaska Fairbanks. Big-time sliding save from him, and a solid effort once again for Grenham this past weekend. Well, we'll get you to plays 5 through 1 a little bit later in the show, but now I want to talk about a young man at Northern Michigan playing for Walt Kyle. His name is Matt Thurber. He hails from the state of Wisconsin, started his college career playing for Mike Eves at the University of Wisconsin in Madison. But as time went on, as he was a member of the Badger program and going to school there, he just felt he needed a change of scenery, something different in his life, and he made a decision to transfer to Marquette and play for the Northern Michigan Wildcats. Last season, he was unable to play all season. He was able to practice with the team. This year, though, he's making a difference, and he's glad he's a part of Northern Michigan's program.
Passes off to Palmer, back in front of the goal, the score! It took a while to get there, but Matt Thurber's shot finds its way, and it's 1-0 Northern Michigan.
Definitely have a good team. Last year was tough, not being able to play games and just practicing every day. But throughout the course of this year, you get to spend time on the road with the guys and get to know them a little better. And we have really good chemistry this year with our team. And we got off to a pretty good start, so hopefully the second half we can keep going with that.
Stop in play. The goal scorer, Matt Thurber, is 7th.
You go to the rink every day, and you have to have the mindset that you are going to play, so you can improve your game. Which, on the bright side, wasn't getting hurt, wasn't getting bumped up, and I got to work on certain little things, whether it's a shot or your stride or anything like that. But it's definitely hard going to the rink and just practicing, and you go to the games on the weekends and seeing all your buddies out there playing is tough.
Well, a good story there from Matt Thurber, and thanks to our guys that went up there and talked to Matt, our CCHA Productions crew. Matt and the Wildcats, Northern Michigan, trying to stay right in the thick of the CCHA race. Moving on now, time to unveil our Players of the Week, offensive, defensive, goaltender, and of course, the Gong Show Rookie of the Week. For more on that, here's CCHA Now's Jeff Sell.
This week's post-game Offensive Player of the Week in the CCHA goes to Alex Guptill of the Michigan Wolverines. Guptill tallied a goal and an assist in both a 4-0 win against Ohio State on Friday and a 4-1 victory against the Buckeyes on Sunday down in Cleveland at the Frozen Diamond Faceoff. Guptill also finished +6 on the weekend. The Gladiator Defenseman of the Week goes to Western Michigan Bronco Dennis Brown. Brown had an assist in the Broncos' 3-2 win at Notre Dame on Friday, and then tallied up the playmaker, assisting on all 3 Western goals in a 3-1 win over the Irish at home on Saturday. Dennis Brown also took part the Broncos penalty-killing unit that went 6 for 7 over the weekend. And the goaltender of the week in the CCHA goes to Michigan goaltender Sean Hunwick. He stopped a career-high 46 shots in a 4-0 shutout of Ohio State on Friday, and also had 31 saves in a 4-1 victory over the Buckeyes on Sunday at the Frozen Diamond Faceoff. Hunwick finished the weekend with a .5 goals against average and a 99 save percentage. And lastly, the Gong Show Rookie of the Week in the CCHA, that goes to Bronco goaltender Frank Slabowski. He stopped 24 shots over Notre Dame on Friday night, and also 25 shots in a 3-1 victory over the Irish on Saturday. Slabowski finished the weekend with a 1.42 goals against average and a 94 save percentage. And that'll wrap it up for this week's CCHA Players of the Week. I'm Jeff Sell. We'll see you next week. Now back to you, Ben.
Thanks, Jeff. We'll look forward to next week's edition of our Players of the Week. Well, Lake Superior State and Michigan State currently are very close in the CCHA standings. You go back to the 90s, and man, were they ever close. They had some great games over the years with a wide assortment of talent. Michigan State in 1990, they had players like Kip Miller, Brian Smolinski, Jason Muzzatti. Lake Superior State had Doug Waite and Darren Madeley between the pipes, just to name a few. Here's a sneak peek, speaking of those two teams in 1990, of this week's upcoming CCHA Rewind.
To the right side to Harris. Out it comes left side. Beadle scores! Steve Beadle's second goal of this series. And it's cleared out of the zone. Muzzatti shoots it all the way back to the line, picked up by Woodward. Woodward moving in, hit just as he wanted to release the puck. And it goes to the corner. 17 seconds left in the power play. Brought out front. A shot, a score! Just a nice wrist shot for Lake Superior as they convert on their power play.
Well, that's just a taste of this week's upcoming CCHA Rewind, and those debut every Thursday morning on CCHA.com. You can see the full version between Lake State and Michigan State, 1990 in the CCHA championship game. And, of course, Lake State and Michigan State, two big games this weekend in East Lansing, so we'll look forward to those, and we'll tell you where you can see those on TV this weekend a little bit later in the show. Moving on now, let's unveil our top 5 plays of the week, and time to buckle the seatbelts, fasten in, because we have got some very good highlights to show you with our top 5 from this past week. In at number 5, it's the pride of Dearborn Heights, Michigan, Jordan Osterley all the way up the right side. No need to pass for Osterley. He takes it all the way in, goes in down low, and scores for Western in a big sweep for the Broncos over Notre Dame this weekend. Jimmy Mullen, outstanding young player from Miami. Great agility on this play, down on one knee in their game Saturday against Lake Superior State. In at number 3, Jordy Johnson from Ferris State with a rip from the top of the circle on Saturday in a 4-3 victory for the Bulldogs. In at number 2, Alex Guptill, outstanding freshman from Michigan, playing with Chris Brown and David Wahlberg. Right here, it's Brown, the great dish, and then Shell for Guptill. In at number 2, that was a big part of Michigan's success this past weekend, those 3 young men against the Ohio State Buckeyes. In at number 1, Shane Burschback fakes the pass, then he makes the pass. Dennis Brown, though, fakes the shot, and Matt Tennyson benefits from that. He rips it in for the Western Michigan goal. Well designed, more importantly, well executed, as those guys get our number 1 play of the past week. Well, as a result of Western Michigan and Ohio State this past weekend doing what they did, Western Michigan, great weekend. Ohio State, they struggled. Michigan did not. They moved up. Let's take a look now at the teams that are represented in this week's USCHO.com Top 20 College Hockey Poll from teams in the CCHA. Ohio State was number 2 last week, but the Buckeyes, after being swept by Michigan, dropped to number 5. Notre Dame drops a few down to 7. Western Michigan comes in at 8, moving up 2. Michigan's up 5 to number 10. Ferris State, number 13 last week, number 13 again this week. Michigan State moves up 2 to 16th. Lake State remains the same. In Miami, the Redhawks cracking the top 20 this week. Well, of course, another busy weekend around the CCHA coming up, and here's a look at the matchups. Lake Superior State will be in East Lansing for 2 games against the Spartans. Ferris State and Ohio State meeting down in Columbus. Bowling Green makes the long trek up to Alaska. Michigan and Notre Dame with 2 huge games coming up down at the Compton Family Ice Arena. And Western Michigan and Miami, that series a huge one as well. On Saturday, same matchups, only addition there, only difference from Friday. Northern Michigan and Michigan Tech play up in Houghton in a non-conference game. Busy TV schedule this weekend with some very good matchups. On Friday, you'll have Lake State at Michigan State on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. Michigan and Notre Dame will be on the air at 7:30 on NBC Sports Network. Then on Saturday, Lake State at Michigan State on Comcast. And then Michigan at Notre Dame, 7:30 start time down at South Bend on CBS Sports Network. Well, the Frozen Diamond Faceoff was quite an event, well put together by the conference, and two teams involved in the Cleveland Indians as well. Big thumbs up to all those folks for their efforts down at this year's Frozen Diamond Faceoff at Progressive Field. CCHA production staff, they were all over the place. They had cameras everywhere, behind-the-scenes footage, all kinds of great stuff. The Hockey and the Detour was there. Everything is captured on video these days, and our guys and gals made sure of that. Who knows, you may see yourself in this behind-the-scenes look that we'll leave you with this week on the show of some of the sights and sounds from the Frozen Diamond Faceoff. Remember, you can always follow us on CCHA.com, Facebook, and Twitter. Until next week, for all of our crew, this is Ben Holden saying thanks for watching. Enjoy some of the footage from the Frozen Diamond Faceoff. So long.
Michigan Wolverines!